Volksgrenadiers kind of sprinted up and grabbed that. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side, Field Pioneers recapping that, Munitions Point recapping that. We do have an anti-tank gun now in the field, and look at that. Audemed just spreading all the way out here and going to cap all this stuff on the left-hand side. You know he really wants fuel, but now he is being decapped from his own fuel. Let's take a look. Still nothing in production yet. He only has 63 fuel, so he couldn't possibly build a tank right now. If you wanted a Sherman, it's 90 fuel. We'll take a look around here and see. Capping the middle, but he is down 2-to-1 victory points right now. So it is 440 to 412 in terms of victory points. 444 Audemed, of course. And now we have this nice anti-tank guy moving up into a beautiful central position. Of course, barbed wire doesn't keep tanks or anything out, but, you know, again, he's just kind of trying to focus all of his units into a single column. I think that's pretty effective. Flamethrower engineers here on the left capping this point. That's pretty cool. And it looks like our gladiator rifleman here capping, but gonna have to drop early because what does that sound? Those are prepared grenadiers by AFKNinja. So AFKNinja getting them out of his Krieg barracks, most likely second after getting an anti-tank gun out there. You can see that Panzerschreck going off in everybody's face there, blowing up some cover. God, I love the way that the destructible terrain looks in this game. It's so pretty. Anyhow, meanwhile, we do have, looks like flamethrower engineers are jumping into this building here, but MG42 and Panzerschreck from that prepared grenadiers putting a little bit of hurt on, but those flamethrower engineers not doing too bad. We're going to have to retreat right now. Yikes! Getting out of there with just a single gentleman left. Meanwhile, over here on the right, we do have the Volksgrenadiers capping this forward victory point and setting up barbed wire in the front. Once again, notice that. And guarding their flanks with mines. Look at how well defended this front position is here. I know there's a little bit of fighting going on here, but honestly, this is this kind of stuff that I find most interesting. The fact that he has constructed a base, basically, out of this part of the terrain. I think that is really, really cool and very effective. Especially since he's in the lead right now and he has map control. Just do that. Lots of little things here, just kind of protecting his flanks from all angles. Very cool. More mines. Look at all the mines that... Oh, those are Audemed's mines. That's cool. Sorry. Getting a little carried away here with the mine analysis. Anyhow, so we've got Rifleman here capping the munitions point. This is a great point to cap usually if you're trying to bring the fight to the front of your base, but unfortunately, AFKNinja is so deep into Audemed's terrain right now that it doesn't really matter that he cuts that off too much. However, they're both kind of, you know, we've got a kind of a yin-yang distribution going on the map right now. So they're both kind of in each other's faces a little bit. But I definitely give strong central control to AFKNinja, obviously, just by looking at this goddamn base that he built in the center of the map. So let's take a look here. And it looks like, yes, he did save up all the way, slowly but surely, saved up for a Sherman tank. I believe that is just a regular Sherman. I pretty much think of Shermans the same way I think about Greyhounds, in that I will always rather just have a plain Sherman and a plain Greyhound rather than getting a hero right off the bat, with a few exceptions in team games and things like that. But in a situation like this where it's your one and only Sherman, A, you want that 50 caliber machine gun upgrade, which you can see he's getting right away, and B, you want the thing to vet up and get stronger. And getting a durable Sherman or you know, a skilled Sherman is cool, but it doesn't, you know, I still prefer getting a regular Sherman. Anyhow, we do have the prepared Grenadiers here, providing some nice cover fire on this left flank while he is recapping this munitions point. That's fine, but man, this is a deadly control here of this point. And just notice how much this battlefield has been transformed by the fact that AFKNinja owns this position. And look at these field pioneers. AFKNinja just has got APM to burn. His actions per minute, he's just like, oh yeah, sure, I'll just use all of the abilities of all of my units all the time. No problem. Anyhow. It looks like our Sherman tank now, we do have Armored Bounty activated. He is getting into his first little skirmish here. The prepared Grenadiers, of course, have a Panzerschreck, but they also have a face full of Sherman tank shells, taking 2 casualties, having to retreat. You can see he does have that speed boost and that damage boost coming from the Armored Bounty, which also gives him a little bit of fuel and manpower, as you can see right there. And it looks like that Sherman tank is doing a pretty good job. He just has to be careful because there are mines everywhere. You can see that it looks like AFKNinja found that set of mines and then planted his own in its place. But now with that damage upgrade, getting 2 more casualties on these Volksgrenadiers. Volksgrenadiers just able to cap that munitions point and then run away. Of course, Sherman tanks cannot capture victory points, so he's just going to have to sit here and kill stuff. But now we do have a Blitz anti-tank gun and a regular anti-tank gun. Blitz, of course, can fire a whole bunch of times, 3 times to be specific, from camouflage. So that could be really tricky, and I think it's wise for Audemed not to try and go too deep with that just yet. Notice, by the way, keeping engineers handy and just keeping the repairs up. So we got a nice big looking blob here of riflemen moving on up. I haven't kept track of the riflemen's upgrades, but they likely have at least sticky bombs at this point. Usually just having one hero squad with grenades is enough. You don't normally need everybody to have grenades, but sticky bombs you definitely want to be able to throw like 3 of them on a random panther or something like that. So, taking a look around, let's see what he's got in his base right now. You can see just Kampfkraft Center and Krieg Barracks, nothing too fancy. We do have a flare right now on the field, there it is. And AFKNinja perfectly aware of what's going on, providing lots of cover fire. You can see that this prepared grenadiers opening fire on all of these infantry. Meanwhile, the Blitz anti-tank gun just kind of, you know, hanging out here. He knows that there's a Sherman somewhere around there. He's got all of his guns pointed roughly in the direction where he last saw it. Meanwhile, we do have a bunch of more just kind of riflemen just kind of hanging out here, firing back and forth. Oh, getting a grenade in the face. Will they get up in time? No! Taking 3 casualties and a 4th as they get suppressed a little bit. But it looks like the Sherman tank now is moving on in for the kill. Getting Vet 1 out of all of that. That's pretty cool. Oh, no! And his gunner gets killed. Look at that guy. Slops over and then gets ejected by taking a random Panzerschreck shot to the rear there. So that's a little bit less unfortunate. And just kind of a lot of just general kind of sustaining fire going on here. It looks like Audemed is more or less pulling out, likely keeping these engineers around just to do some repairs. But for the time being, AFKNinja has managed to hold on to this. Oh, a little sneaky cap in the middle here. It looks like the Gladiator Riflemen were able to take care of that victory point in the center. Meanwhile, the Venerable Volksgrenadier is kind of all tuckered out from having sprinted around a little bit. But meanwhile, just kind of recapping all this stuff over here on the left. That's looking pretty good. Not a lot has changed. AFKNinja definitely definitely threatening a 3 cap right now. 412 to 305 victory points. Oh, Panzerschreck hitting the tank. Blitz anti-tank gun hitting the tank as well. That's not good. Taking a lot of damage. He's down at like a quarter health or something to that effect. Trying to get repaired, but that Blitz anti-tank gun is just moving in for the kill right now. He's probably hanging out a little bit too close to that. Oh, and he even activates the cloak. Let's see this thing fire cloaked. Kaboom! Look at that. Firing while cloaked. Tank having to retreat. Oh, not taking another shot. Okay, he's very low. It looks like he's just going to have to do a full retreat from the left-hand side here. Meanwhile, occupying this building. We've got the anti-tank gun, heavy machine gun team set up out here. Field Pioneers just kind of hanging out with all of the mines and traps and everything around here. And meanwhile, it looks like Audemed is getting a 2nd Sherman tank. So he's kind of all-inning here with Shermans and riflemen at this point. He is level 4, but you know he's really got to hope that he can get a Calliope out or something in order to change this at this point. Because he just needs to break through all of these defenses in the middle. And it's so mined up. I just love those mines. I love them. Anyhow, needs to repair this Sherman tank. Looks like that's what's going on right now. By the way, he does have a Minesweeper squad out with all of these, this nice little blob of engineers here. That's pretty cool. Here comes our initial conflict here. Looks like we've got a bunch of riflemen firing here. Classic Audemed style, just flanking, making sure he attacks from 2 different directions at the same time. Sprinting with his sprinting with the Gladiator Rifleman to make sure he can get them out and around. Trying to attack. Oh no! And he steps directly on the landmine. And we have another landmine up north. What's going to happen there? Oh my God! And the 2nd landmine goes off. Whoops! I took a little bit too steep of a camera angle there. Looks like all of his riflemen here. Oh God! And as he was retreating, heavy machine gun team killing all of the Gladiator's riflemen. That is a huge loss for Audemed. He had the right idea, like he normally does. You know, he wanted to attack from the front, get suppressed, and then have a flank come from behind. And it just didn't work. There were just too many landmines and stuff all over the place that he hadn't counted on having. And during all of that time, AFKNinja capping the rest of the map. You can see he's getting his fuel back. He's getting this munitions point back in the front, and now he has really strong control over the map, like a game-ending, threatening control over the map right now. So 2 fully repaired Sherman tanks here, 10 kills on this Vet 1 tank. Not going to be thrown off at all by barbed wire. Sherman tanks just moving on through. You can see he's well aware of these mines because of the huge sight radius on those minesweepers. I don't even know if that's intended or not, but they seem to be able to see the entire screen, even with the 50% radius upgrade. Sherman tanks now, putting some pressure on these Venerable Volksgrenadiers. He knows there's anti-tank guns around here, though. He's got to be careful. Speaking of which, here's one anti-tank gun right now, firing away here, getting 2 shots right now on that rear Sherman. Sherman's now kind of moving around to take cover behind this building, but no! Hitting a landmine! Once again, landmines everywhere, moving up, putting some pressure. Wow, that anti-tank gun is taking a lot of casualties, and it's going out of there. But no! During the middle of all of this, it looks like AFKNinja got an accomplished Panther out. Check that out. Yes, he's got a Panzer Command up right now. We've got the accomplished Panther right now. Is probably a lot more than these wounded tanks can deal with. It looks like we do have the engineers trying to get in here. They are being really, really, really suppressed at the time being, having to move out of there. It looks like AFKNinja's Volksgrenadiers coming on in here, manning this pack, taking a shot. Oh, picking off the rear Sherman tank. We've got Accomplished Panther going after the Vet 1 tank. Vet 1 tank desperately being repaired. He could have HVAP rounds, but he does not have self-repair or anything like that activated at the moment. He is getting a little bit repaired, but no, it looks like the Panther is going to take out the Sherman anti-tank, and Audemed calls good game, and it looks like we are now going to be moving on to Game 2, Audemed being able to choose the map. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Once again, if you did, please feel free to subscribe. Let's move on to Game 2.